Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to connect Python to MySQL. So this is assuming that you have installed MySQL on your local PC, or you can actually also connect to MySQL on a server somewhere. So in my case here, I have installed MySQL via SAM, and I have created a database called test, and currently the database is still empty. It does not have any tables. So let's come back to our Python script, and then also the other prerequisites here is I have prepared these wrapper functions so that you can easily use these functions to connect to MySQL. So this is using SQLAlchemy library. So let's get started. So let's run these codes. So these are the pip installs that are required for this project. Okay, now the installation is done. Let's continue to the next line. At this point, you can just delete this line. So these are the necessary imports. Just run that as usual. Press play button, or you can use Control Enter. And this will be the database credentials. So this is the username, and this will be your password, host, which can be an IP address or a domain name as well. If you use it with localhost, then you specify localhost, and this will be your port number, and this is the database name. So let's run this as well, and then let's run these database functions. So I'll explain it later when I go into the main codes. So these are all the wrapper functions that I have used in many of my projects. So one thing to mention, if you look at the code, the function buildDB here is to build the database connection, and once you build the database connection, it will be kept as a cache. So it means that the next time you do a query on the same database, it will use the existing connections. So instead of building the connection every time you want to query data, the function here will dynamically look for the existing cache and use that to do the next query. Okay, so let's go on to the main code. So make sure you run this code already. Create a new table. So I have prepared the database. The name is test, and then let's create a blank table there. So this is a typical MySQL query, and the DB here is the database variable or the connection string that you have prepared at the top there. So it says connecting to MySQL and no errors are thrown, meaning the query has been running correctly. When you do create table, there's nothing will be returned. It is very normal to return 0 at this point. So when we check the table, let's refresh our database. Now the table has been created there with the structure that we want. Everything looks good for now, and the database connection is working correctly. Let's now do a simple data insert and data selection. I prepared this code as well. This will be the data frame that you want to insert to the database. Here I have ID and name, and make sure the structure here is the same as the table that you have created before. I have the function df to MySQL, and db is the connection string, and this will be the data frame, and this is the table name. After you insert the data, we want to try to select it. So you are just selecting from test user. So also mind that whenever we do query from any of the functions that I have prepared here, you are actually directly committing it to the table. So you don't need to specifically call commit after the query. So what we see here, the data has been inserted, and if we run this multiple times, actually you will see there will be a duplicate entry message here, because when we create the table, we specify ID as the primary key. So now we have ID 5 John and 7 Smith. So what if, for example, you want to do insert ignore, which is pretty common when inserting data as well. So the df to MySQL here is using the native way from the data frame to insert data. Let's preview that function for a while. So here, df to MySQL at the core is actually using toSQL, which is the built-in function, but unfortunately this one does not support insert ignore. So I'm actually building a separate function for insert ignore. So here we are like looping the data and insert the data one by one. So the performance here will be slightly slower than the built-in toSQL, but this ensures that we can do insert ignore or even on duplicate key update. So the second one, I will talk about the df to MySQL my. This supports insert ignore. So by default, the structure is the same, and if you call it this way, means it is doing insert ignore. So let's try to run this one. So after insert, it will be select the data again. So you will insert the ID 11, which is Amy, but you are not inserting the ID 5, which is Lily. In this case, it is because there exists an entry with the ID 5. This is still the previous one, which is John and not Lily. How do we do on duplicate update here? I also have another example for that. So we will pass another parameter in the df to MySQL my, which is the next parameter here, the parameter number 4, and the name equals to values name, which means that we are expecting to insert Michael as a replacement for John, which is the same at ID 5. So let's run this code. So here we have Michael at ID 5, and the rest will be still the same, and we are inserting together with it the ID 13. Now let's try another function, which is inserting a single row. I have another example here. Here you can insert single row by creating a binder and the insert values. So this is the function that I have created. It's called insert values associative. Here we are just inserting ID 17. Here we are calling it like our insert ignore as usual, and this will be the table name, and the column here you need to pass it, which is the column names that are generated dynamically from the insert values assoc, and the IV is the binder variable. Here it's making sure that you are making the MySQL statement in a safe way, so it prevents MySQL injection. So we can try this one, and this is what you will see. So for a recap, for selecting data, you just mostly use this all the time, MySQL to df, and whether you want to select just a value or specific column, you can just control it from the MySQL to df. I'm just giving you one example. If you want to select just the name of the person with the ID 7, select name from test user where ID equals to 7. And then because this is a data frame, you can simply look for the first index of the data frame because you are just selecting one data in here. And then from there, you can take the name. So in this case, you are taking the Smith as just a simple string variable. So you can use this and manipulate it the way you manipulate a data frame. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe.